S63. The two digits that grace the fastest, the wildest, the most aggressive cars from the house of Mercedes-AMG. But why is that? How did that come to be? They don't have 6.3-litre engines. They haven't had them for a very long time. This S63 e-Performance has a 4-litre V8. So why does it still have a 63 badge? Well, it all started in 1968. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the Evo India channel and hit that bell notification icon to stay notified of our video drop. When you see, or rather hear, a Mercedes-AMG with a 63 on the boot lid, you know it is something special. But this story goes back nearly 6 decades. Back in the 1960s, the Mercedes-Benz 600, also known as the grosser Mercedes, was the greatest car the world had ever seen. From rock stars like Elvis, Presley and David Bowie to notorious characters like Saddam, Hussein and Amin, it ferried around its wealthy owners in absolute opulence. And it did that courtesy of the 6.3-litre M100 V8, an engine almost twice the size of the largest engine Mercedes produced at the time. The story goes that an enterprising engineer named Erich Waxenberger, perhaps bored with building luxo barges for dictators, decided to put the M100 V8 into the 300 SEL sedan from that time. This pet project would never have gone into production if it wasn't for Mercedes' head of passenger car research, Rudolf Uhlenhardt, who heard this car rumbling past his office late one night. This car looked exactly the same as its 6-cylinder brethren except for one small detail, a 6.3 badge on the boot lid. And so a legend was born. This Mercedes-AMG S63 e-Performance is the latest in a long line of full-size sedans to boast the 63 badge. It may not have a 6.3, but it packs a powerhouse of a motor. Under that long bonnet is a bi-turbo 4-litre V8 with 604 bhp and 900 Nm of torque. It's mated to a 9-speed AMG speed shift multi-clutch transmission. This engine uses what is called a hot V. So basically the twin scroll turbochargers are housed within the V of the engine. This means there's less distance for the exhaust gases to travel to get to the compressor and for compressed air to travel to get to the engine. That means no turbo lag, immediate response. But the internal combustion engine is not the only thing powering the S63. The rear axle features a permanently excited synchronous electric motor powered by a 13.1 kWh battery. Combined with the ICE, this generates an incredible total output of 791 bhp and an earth-shattering 1430 Nm. Using the AMG Performance 4MATIC Plus system, the S63 can accelerate to 100 in just 3.3 seconds. The brutal acceleration doesn't stop until it hits the electronic speed governor at 290 km an hour. Technologies powering the S63 come from motorsport. The engineers from Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team collaborated with the engineers at Affalterbach to create this automotive masterpiece. But this isn't the first time a 63 has had ties to motorsport. AMG's first race car was based on 300 SEL 6.3. They bored the engine out to 6.8 litres, tweaked the heads, cams, rods and crank, as well as plumbed each cylinder bank with separate intakes. The result was a leap from 246 bhp and 500 Nm to a porkier 422 bhp and 607 Nm respectively. They didn't stop there. They flared the fenders, gave it massive tires and painted it bright red. And so the Rotsau or the Red Pig was born. This portly bugger was faster than it had any right to be and went on to win its class and came second overall at the 1971 Spa-Francorchamps 24 hours. But you don't win races with just an engine. You need a competitive package, and that's the ethos which has gone into the S63. Despite weighing the better part of 2.5 tons, Mercedes-AMG has tuned it to feel light, to feel agile, to feel dynamic like a real driver's car. To that end, it gets rear axle steering, an electronically controlled limited slip differential, roll stabilization which can react up to 500 times a second, carbon ceramic brakes in addition to the air suspension tuned by AMG. But the S63 isn't just about performance. This is an S-Class after all. And even that red pig, it kept its wood veneer when it went racing. But that being said, this S-Class has a much darker, more sporty ambience than a regular S-Class. Take the steering wheel for instance. It's covered in leather and Alcantara, and it's a specific AMG unit. It gets all these dials and knobs to control the various functions of the systems. You can go all the way from full electric to sport plus full power mode. You also get these lovely shift paddles. Even the screens are AMG specific, and the center screen allows you to cycle through the various systems and see what they're up to at any given point of time. But my favorite has to be the IW screen, which displays this watch that you can use as a stopwatch. Now of course, being an S-Class, this has all the features you could ever ask for. For example, it has massage seats, dual sunroof, and incredible Burmester sound system. And the S63 comes only in long wheelbase form, which means you can do this full recline mode. The S63 isn't just the boss's car, this is the boss's car. And from the outside, it's not hard to see why. This generation of S63 is the first to carry an AMG specific front grille and an Falterbach badge to replace the 3-pointed star on the radiator grille. The aggressive front bumper features large air inlets which can be trimmed in carbon fiber. Viewed from the side, the S63 sits on motorsport-inspired 21-inch forged alloy wheels with an AMG side skirt adding to the visual drama. And finally, at the rear, the functional diffuser element is flanked by quad tailpipes that emit the most wonderful V8 rumble. And if all those visual cues weren't enough, then there's this, the S63 badge on the boot lid, finished in red to signify that this is an E-performance model. This isn't just a badge, it's a badge of honor. It has a legacy of almost 60 years. It has shaped automotive culture, created the performance sedan, and made AMG what it is today. As automotive enthusiasts, we owe a debt of gratitude to this 63 badge. And I, for one, am incredibly grateful that I got to spend a couple of hours with this particular car. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and stay tuned for more content just like this.